Hey everybody, welcome back to the Chaotic Little Book Corner. Today is a book haul. It's going to be books that were sent to me by publishers. I've worked with some of these publishers before and some of them are new to me, so I'm very excited to dive in. Let's see what books I have. So the first one I have is this. This is Emily Northam's Strike Your Heart. It is translated from the French by Alison Anderson. It is the story of a young girl who has a struggling relationship with her mother, who envies her a great deal for her existence, and so as a result she has trials and tribulations with other women in relationship with them. It should be really good. I definitely could see it having some Snow White vibes, potentially, but we'll see. We'll see if it gets fairy tale-ish. It's very possible. Then we have What We Did by Christabel Kent. This was sent to me by Farah, Strauss, and Gurex. This is a story about a woman who has experienced trauma in her past, and when the person who caused her trauma comes back into her life, she has to decide how she's going to protect herself and her family. It is a psychological thriller. I am very much looking forward to this, and you guys know how I feel about reading on trauma. Next, we have The Conviction of Cora Burns by Carolyn Kirby. This is a story of Carolyn Burns, who was given birth to by her mother, a convict in jail, and she has always struggled with her proclivity to do more harm than good. And so she is separated from her best friend when she is sent away, and I think she's sent away to jail, and she gets out of jail and tries to start searching for her best friend. On the way, she is trying to find the answer to a death that happened in the workhouse where she was working, and also she meets a scientist who is very fascinated by her proclivity for cruelty and crime. So it's going to be interesting. It is compared to The Essex Serpent and See What I Have Done. I loved both of those books, so we'll see how that goes. That was sent to me by Dzanc Books. Next, we have The Atlas of Reds and Blues by D.V.S. Laskar. This was sent to me by Counterpoint Press. This is on sale February 5th, 2019. I am very excited about this one. I'm very nervous about it though. It is a story of a woman who goes only by mother, and she moves her children and herself and her husband to a suburb of Atlanta, where very commonly she is asked, "Where are you from?" "No, really, where are you from?" And this all comes to a head when there is a raid on her home and she decides she no longer wants to be complicit with the way that the police are treating her, and it ends with her having a gunshot in her and her thinking back on her life and her experience. So we shall see how this goes. It sounds like it's going to be intense and race built, but we'll see how I feel about that. Then we have some nonfiction. This is Painkiller, An Empire of Deceit and the Origin of America's Opioid Epidemic by Barry Meir. This is an expansive update of what it is to have addiction in the healthcare system and to have addiction in this world, and what opioids do and how they are kind of gotten hold of and all of those things, and what the opioid crisis is doing to America right now. So we'll see how this goes. This I was sent unsolicited, I believe. I don't have a remembrance of talking to this person, but they seem to know who I am, so not sure. This is Comics and Columbine by Tom Campbell. This is the story of an autistic kid who grew up in the nightmares of bullying and abuse and was seen in psychiatric care by the age of 8. He developed a lifelong hatred for things educational. This hatred shared thinking of a school shooting. He was gifted and unique insight into the slaughter we witness in our schools today. Written from the perspective of a classroom avenger, it explores the distorted thinking and reveals a socially acceptable evils that provokes the lethal response. I'm really nervous about this, to think about the idea of going through the mind of someone who understands school shooters. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm intrigued, and I'm gonna give it a chance. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just nervous. So you may see me talk about this, or if I read it and feel it is too topical, I may keep it to myself. If you guys want to let me know in the comments whether or not you're interested in knowing about that book, let me know. If it feels too current and emotional, I can handle that as an option, and I will refrain from talking about it. This is the winner of the Graywolf Press Nonfiction Prize, which I've read another one of their winners of the Graywolf Short Fiction Nonfiction Prize, and I liked it quite a bit. This is The Collected Schizophrenias by Esmond Won Yang, and it is, I read her first book, The Border of Paradise, and that was published by Unnamed Press. This is published by Graywolf Press. This talks about Esme's experience with schizoaffective disorder and her trip into that diagnosis. I'm very excited about this. I might have bugged the publisher for like a month to get this, and then I might have bugged them some more when it didn't arrive on time. I might have been a pain, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm so excited to get my hands on this and read this that I'm gonna start it ASAP. I just received it today, so I am thoroughly stoked. And it's short enough that I can read it, and it's also nonfiction November, so haha, win. Then we have this one. I've already done a review of this. I will link it up in the cards. This is Nancy Tucker's That Was When People Started to Worry, Windows into an Unwell Mind. This is a nonfiction that depicts, I believe, let's see how many. 2, 4, 6, 7. 7 mental illnesses, and it depicts them in the way where it takes the experience of multiple people and mixes and melds it into a single narrative that is a fictionalized nonfiction of people's experience with that disorder, and then it discusses how that disorder affects people, what it really looks like and feels like, and then what they would like you to know if they could talk to you about it. So I'm really excited about this book. I loved it. It's in my top books of the year. I definitely would recommend it. It was a great honor to get it, and I got this from Icon Books. They're a UK publisher. I was so grateful. So grateful. I asked them without any expectation of it happening, and somehow it did. This is We Can Save Us All by Adam Nemeth. This is cult apocalyptic. I don't really want to tell you too much because I went into it knowing only the cult and apocalyptic aspect of it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I feel like this is going to go under the radar. It's Unnamed Press, who doesn't really get a lot of publicity. It's already come out. It came out on the same day as Michelle Obama's book, so the 14th. And, no, the 13th. It came out on the 13th of November. And I really wish that Unnamed Press would get more publicity because they make amazing books, and I've worked with them several times, and I'm always super happy with what I read from them. This book was no exception. It just definitely left me feeling unnerved and strange. I enjoyed it though. I will talk more about it in my wrap-up, which will be my next video. Ta-da! So those are all the books I've been sent by publishers in the last month, 2 months. I'm very excited about all of them. I've read a fair amount and I haven't read a fair amount, so it's going to be a good even split. I will talk about them as I read them. I will give reviews to the ones that I feel are something I have more to say about, but For the most part, I will mention them in my wrap-ups. Please keep your eyes peeled. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you loved it, click that subscribe button down below. And if you have any questions, comments, or quandaries, go ahead and leave them in the comment box. I will talk to you all in my next video. Just in case you haven't seen, I will link my video discussing my Patreon that I have opened up in the cards, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.